We're back, ladies and gentlemen, with the third hour of Misfits. So, you three meet up, and you intend to go where?
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, he's we can send him the address for his old house, or like nearby to his old house, like by the lakeside.
Okay. So you intend to go there.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So, as you... I don't think you make it that far. I feel like fate intervenes. I feel like you get an opportunity at practice in a more deliberate manner.
Damn it!
I think as we see you like you're getting off a subway or something. Like Halcyon is enormous, right? So we see you like emerge like onto the street and like just move through the city, and you're probably like having a conversation about where you're going. Maybe there's like a little like, oh yeah, this used to be like, I used to be hang with this group of people and it's kind of their place, so we might come across some people. Like if that's the case, just let me do the talking. And then like you're just like innocuously walking through the town, and then in a wide like in a flat angle wide panel of just the three of you, there is a you're like waiting at a sidewalk or something, waiting for the light to turn green, and and this the next panel like is the exact same panel, except like your hair is like wafting in the wind because like a van is racing past you like directly in front of you, spilling money out of the back. It's like out of nowhere, like a van just rushes by you, and standing like on top of the van as it's going is a man wearing wearing yellow tights and a red tunic and a guitar, like saying as he's blasting through the town, right, like surfing a van that's just like vomiting money.
I think Moira looks after him, and then makes up. I don't think we can pretend we didn't see that, can we?
I'm afraid not. I guess this is what we talked about calling training on the job.
Oh well, Isit. Welcome to the stupid world where people ride on cars, singing.
Oh dear.
Of course, you like also start hearing sirens from the direction the vehicle initially came from. But yeah, it's like looking down the street, it swerves into oncoming traffic and dives around with the guy still like in power stance strumming his guitar, as the car's like blasting down and then like rounding a corner.
I think if we cut him, if we move down that way and go through the park, we will cut him off.
Sounds like a good plan.
And she starts running.
And the huge ass snake goes through the park as well.
So
at
like,
whatever speed she can manage.
As you're moving, you probably move. I imagine you're moving decently fast. You have a power related to mobility. But like
for her size, she swerves in and out of anything with incredible ease.
Yeah. So I like as you're like slithering forward, the seat like flies next to you, and bubbles into your mind like, so what is this? What are we doing?
We're gonna stop the idiot on a car so he doesn't kill people.
Oh, okay. So that guy from before then.
Yeah, the loud thing on the big thing that flew through the city, vomiting green bills of something.
Okay. Why are we doing this again?
Make sure people don't die.
Right. Okay. Yep. Reasonable. It's like it doesn't get it. It's like what? Wait.
It's called doing the right thing. Get used to it, Isit.
Yep. It follows you. So. I think we see you like we have a panel of you guys parkouring through the town, right? We have like a shot of trespass like hardcore moves, leaping from like an outdoor mounted ventilation shaft like onto like a flagpole and then leaping up like up a piece of like a fire escape or something. We probably have like a cable launcher from Recon, and we have Moira slithering swiftly, and you move to try and cut this guy off. So you move through the like back alleys and streets and follow the sound of like some idiots like hitting a high note as he's like surfing a car.
Tell me that what he's playing is like 70s glam rock. Because that in itself would be a crime against all things good taste, and we have to stop him.
It is almost like, it feels like that. It is
disco.
Oh no, luckily not. It has more of a troubadour feel to it.
Oh dear.
Just let us shoot him.
So you you move through the park to cut him off, and as you do so, you see like down like at that intersection down there, you hear it before you see it. The van comes like swerving around a corner and starts heading in your direction. You can see like in the seat is seated like just a person. He looks completely like your average Joe, and he's riding this like van, with like the intensity of someone who really means it. He's like super focused on what he's doing, but he like looks intensely normal. The one thing looking really out of place is the guy in the tights, like the yellow and red, riding the thing with an acoustic guitar. And he also has like a little Robin mask, like just like that kind of raccoon mask that just like covers your eyes.
It's not even an electric guitar.
No, it's not an electric guitar. It's an acoustic.
Come on, man.
Yeah, Recon like once they like he has like he can find a good intersection, he will probably try to jump onto the car.
Right, you let it approach and then you leap onto it. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. I think
he's not even consulting anybody. Just like, yup.
Moira stops and tries to assess the situation.
Okay, let's go with that first then. So you have some time to do that before it gets close enough for Recon to leap onto it. So yeah.
I imagine she's doing that from some kind of a vantage, like a lamppost. You know, her tail wiggled around it, so she has a little height.
I don't think a lamppost can support your weight, but there is something in the landscape that can.
If it's a beefy one?
I think since you made it through the park, there's probably like a stone brick pillar with like a statue of some superhero on it.
Of course! Though that superhero no longer has an arm because that broke off, but
who cares, right? Like it'll
I disarmed the hero, get over it.
It's a picture of someone. I don't know who
yes.
it would be. This is like a hero from the Silver Generation, like a popular figure.
And since I have an extra pair of eyes, I only have a -2 on it. Yay!
It's the cowl.
Oh my god! It totally is the cowl. Yes. So the cowl is one we introduced in the last game. It's our Batman analog. So sure,
Yay!
It's a picture of Batman, but not. It's a picture of not Batman.
It's not a picture. It's a statue.
Right. Sorry. It depicts not Batman. Anyway, yeah. You can try and assess the situation.
This is not Batman. This is Catman.
Oh my god. That's okay. Yeah, that's actually pretty genius.
Aww.
Make a roll. Let's have you assess. Oh, there it is. Okay. Sure. So, what are you? Let's talk about what you're trying to
I made a swing and I
discern.
missed.
You did. Unless someone spends a team to help you out. I'm hearing silence.
I'm not sure how to be honest. I mean, it's an assess, so it's a little difficult.
Pointing stuff out, like pointing at it.
I think The thing is, I think at this point, Yun probably has tunnel vision. She wants to get up on top of the car.
Sure, makes sense.
Could also spend team selfishly.
You could also spend team.
Yeah, you can speak. Yes, exactly.
How?
Oh, and also
In this situation, how?
let me just. I don't know. Like you could make the car swerve to almost hit your mates by accident.
Sure. Why not?
I need to ask you something before then. You're currently rolling with a -2 modifier, right?
Yeah.
But have you factored in the fact that your pet helps you?
Yes, that's why it's not a -3.
Wonderful. Cool. So yeah, that's a thing you could do.
Sadly.
You could basically like as you're
I have an idea. The reason it impedes the team is because when she climbed this person, the arm fell off. But as she was climbing it, she accidentally hit it with her tail. Having impossible human might, this tail landed up on the road, the thing we're driving on, making everything swerve frantically to get out of the way.
Right, like you're being clumsy, and that puts your
Yeah.
in the spot. Sure, okay, that's reasonable.
So Catman's arm broke off and flew.
Absolutely. So spend your team selfishly, and then you get a question.
Yay!
I'll remove a team for the pool. You count as having rolled a 7. What would you like to ask?
I have to find it again. Assessing the situation. Okay, I can ask 1. And I get a +1 when acting on it. I know what the biggest threat is. What here can I use to stop the car?
Ah.
The one, speeding throughout the entire place.
Indeed.
Like an idiot.
So
with a man on the roof.
As you're adjacent to the park, there are certain features in the landscape, like a row of very nice trees being planted for decoration purposes. But one of them, or like a couple of them, have actually grown to a very decent size. And given the right prodding, would fall clean across the road, instead like blocking it, which would either like force it would either force the van to swerve into the park, which is a hard sell, because there's not an obvious entrance right here, or it would like probably crash into the tree, right?
Huh. Then I will do that.
Okay. So let's address the proverbial elephant in the room. So you make ready to do that. And as you do so, unfortunately, your clumsiness causes the car to swerve. As Yun and as Trespass and Recon, you're about like, okay, he's coming this way, and we're preparing ourselves. Then suddenly the driver notices something behind you, which is this statue piece skipping out onto the road, and just swerves violently in your direction. Suddenly, the car is just bowling directly towards you. The driver having not noticed you on the sidewalk. What do you do?
Jump for cover.
Actually, I think what Yun will do is using one of her hook swords.
Mm-hmm.
She will literally hook that on a branch over her head.
Mm-hmm.
And she will use her own momentum to sort of, carry her through into a backwards, into a backflip through the air and land on top of the car.
Oh, that sounds really cool. Okay, that's you. What about you, Recon? What's your approach here?
Yeah, Recon is still trying to basically swing up and swing onto the roof.
All right. Yeah, I feel like both of these are you initiating a case of some exceptional acrobatics. Why don't you try and unleash your powers? See if you can get out of dodge. You should try to avoid this oncoming problem.
Please do. It would be sad to have two mauled teammates.
Yes. So what is it you said that I should roll again, just to be on the safe side?
Unleash your powers.
Unleash my powers. Well, at least I'm reasonable at that.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's the first advancement.
Hey, hit.
Woo! Okay, so trespass. You need to decide whether you want to mark a condition to make this stick, or if I shall tell you how the effect is unstable or temporary.
See.
Is the car headed toward the park now?
No, it just
I
like
think
swerves
it's- I
onto
think
the
it's-
sidewalk for a moment. Like your plan still stands to
Yeah.
like use the tree to stop it.
Okay.
I think it's temporary or unstable.
Okay.
Of course
then
it is.
Your
The car is in a panic.
Exactly, the car is swerving from side to side, and I mean, she probably does land up there, but I'm not sure her footing is necessarily the best.
Oh, I know exactly.
He's
what
never
this is.
been skating before.
Yeah.
So-
Okay, let's hear it then.
So that's you. Let's talk about recon for a second, because recon's role is not as easy. Recon is in a little spot here.
Can't even save him.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're all doing your own thing, so no one is really like in a great position to defend here. Recon, your attempts at movement, like you have it all planned out. You're like, yeah, I can do this. And you just like that, like 1 split second too late, right? It's not a question of. It's not that you didn't do it right. It's that this happens too suddenly. And so as you like try to get out of the way and onto the vehicle, you end up finding yourself like getting barely out of the way as it like partially knocks into you, and that's still like a hard impact. But it's not
powerful
like
blow?
it's not like a full on collision. I think you should take a powerful blow. I feel like that's reasonable.
So just roll with conditions, isn't it?
Yes.
Miss! Huge ass miss.
It was the miss of a lifetime.
Aww.
9. So
The one you want to miss.
pick a choice from the 7 to 9 list. You could lash out verbally at Moira. You could provoke one of your teammates.
We have a brain back. Yay!
I mean, you could. I say lash out verbally at Moira. I say that because I know she caused this. But you could lash out at Trespass too.
Well, they did see the thing fly out
Yeah.
from behind.
Yeah, he will probably. Yeah, he will somehow. He will struggle past the pain and mark 2 conditions.
Youch.
Wow, that's gonna hurt.
He'll be angry and afraid of his own mortality.
Yes. This makes a lot
That
of sense.
kind of makes sense. Like, he used to have a lot of gadgets and powers, and suddenly, no.
Yeah, you're missing that protective shell of an armor. Okay, yeah, absolutely. So you get hit and you don't lash out, you don't do anything. It just hurts really bad. Like you almost dislocate something. You have like this shooting pain in your arm. You like careen through the air for a second. You just like manage to catch yourself. You land ungracefully on top of a cab that's like locked in traffic in the opposite lane. Let's talk about what happens with Trespass. So Trespass,
Yeah.
you jump up, you hook your sword around the branch, and you pivot through the air, landing like in an elegant backflip and landing on top of the car as it like moves back onto like the road. You catch yourself. The momentum obviously causes you to like, okay, I got this. Right? You need a second. Yeah. Actually, you like, I mean, no, you don't. No, you don't. You do a 3-point landing.
Ooh, of course.
Yes.
Because that looks awesome.
Exactly. 3-point landing.
And with her head, 3-point landing, and she looks down, and then as the moment as she's, touched down, she just raises her head and looks at the git in front of her because, why not go full ham?
Exactly. But yeah, so I heard you, AJ, so I can't help myself here. I need to do this. So you do it. You jump up, you swing around, you just go like shooting through the. It's like an upwards, like an top down shot of you like doing the backflip as you approach the camera, and we see the van like coming through the shot beneath you in like super slow motion, and it cuts to Deathpool pointing and going superhero landing. She's gonna do a superhero landing, and then you land on top of the van.
Yeah.
Wonderful. However, as you
Deadpool is best misfit ever.
yes. So you land and you look up at the guy, and he turns around, and it's like an old guy. He's looking kind of like dapper for his age. He's got like a sculpted jaw. He has
Does he have a mullet?
He doesn't. He doesn't have a mullet. He has like kind of like I'm a reasonable well-off man from like the 30s haircut. It's just like looks decent. He has like a thin mustache. And he turns around with like this wide smile on his face as he notices you. He's like surprised initially.
He looks like Clark Gable.
Oh my god, I need to Google Clark Gable. Let me just see if you're right about that. Oh my god, it's actually almost true. Yeah, he looks like Clark Gable.
Oh god.
So
The horror.
So he turns around and like notices you with like a look of surprise, but not a displeased surprise. Like, oh, why? Right, like that kind of look.
Yes.
And he like shifts his balance as the car like swerves, and it's heading towards Moira in the background. But we'll get to that in a second. Let's talk about how this is unstable.
Yes.
So you've landed and you're ready to kick some ass and figure out what's going on. But as you're like ready to do something about it, he strums his guitar and hits a note. He's like, "Why, hero? You're a bit young, aren't you? Well, doesn't matter. You stand before Brung, the Scarlet Songbird." And
Oh no! Oh no!
the notes like and he's like, you're like, he has that like as if I need any presentation, right? Like,
Yes.
obviously you know who I am. But he strums the guitar, and you find like suddenly like your world swerves. You're not quite sure where everything is. You get like this kind of like drunken double vision for a second, and you kind of lose your balance and find yourself tipping towards the edge of the van.
Oh right. Well, if I need to act on that,
What do you do?
she will swing out again with the it's an electric guitar, am I correct?
It is an acoustic.
It's an acoustic guitar. Okay, all the better actually. She will yoink out with one of her swords in an attempt to hook it behind the guitar. You know, hold her balance by hooking the guitar.
Cool.
Not by, you know, she knows that he's going to hold on to that thing because it's his weapon, meaning that if she can hook the guitar, she's not going to fall off.
I see you. So you dip forward and like try and like hook onto it. And as you do this, we get like a shot from in front of the van of you like just like completely missing. But there is like a drawing, like a translucent double drawing of him that lets us know that you were actually on the mark. You're just succumbing to his like vision fuckery.
Yes.
So we do that. So you're like kind of falling forward and landing on the hood of the van. Like your hook sword catches on, but now you're like in front of the vehicle and like trying to climb on. You're like face to face with the driver, who has like a weird like. He has like this weird look in his eyes. Yeah, he has glassy eyes.
Right. Okay.
And now, however, as you do that, you're like, aha, okay, I caught myself, and you have to like suppress like a sense of nausea for a second, like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
And then you notice like we notice over your shoulder as you're caught on there behind you, Moira is chopping down a tree.
Oh shit!
Not chopping, she's just pushing it.
Sure, you're slapping down a tree. Let's have you
Pushing it gently with her tail. It's like a little branch, bending nicely.
I see you, and it's not like there is any question whether you can do this. The question is the timing and the placement. So why don't I would just have been like, yeah, you do this, no problem. But now there is a question of whether or not this will be dangerous to trespass. So, why don't we have you unleash your powers to see exactly how that shakes out?
Screw you, Daniel.
But
At least I have a +1 when I do this.
here's the fun thing. We are the Misfits, which means that seeing as this is clearly turning into sort of a comedy superhero series, which I personally think is fucking
That
hilarious and brilliant.
is Freak, right?
Yes, it's Uthrik.
Yeah. Then we should, strictly speaking, constantly be bumbling around like this and overcoming in the end anyway.
Whoop! There
Oh,
we go.
hey!
Hey, nice!
So I feel like this is like a case of you and Trespass like working well together. So in a moment of like exceptional
And
timing.
deceit. Because deceit helps to unleash powers.
Oh yeah, so I think I know what this is. So Trespass, you hear like this like voice in your head that's like behind you, get ready. And then we see
She
Moira
checks.
slaps down the tree,
And Moira yelling, "Timber!"
exactly. So the tree like careens down in front of the van, but at such like a point, and with like you time it so well that Trespass, when you're looking and you're seeing it, you like push yourself off the window. Your foot like touches onto the falling tree, and you pivot off of it, launching yourself back on like up in the air, and like landing on the van that comes to a sudden stop as it hits the tree.
Does the man fall off?
What'd you say?
Does the man fall off?
Oh yeah, he does. So
Can I catch him?
it's let's get like, so this is the series of events is tree falls. Yun pivots off of it. The van crashes into the tree and like does like this jerking forward thing. The man flies off, strumming the guitar and like hitting a pleasant note as he sails through the air with not a care in the world.
Oh, I love this.
Fling!
And as the van like slumps back down, like, and comes to like a stop, like its form stops, then you like land on top of it. Poof. Perfect landing. You do not catch the guy as he sails through the air. Instead, as he like sails through the air, he does like a very elegant for an old guy, very spry for an old guy, like backward somersault, and lands on a car that was like parked in front of him.
Very fly for an old guy.
Exactly. So he comes to like this like theatrical stop, and then like looks
Supervillain landing!
supervillain landing, and he looks to the van with like worry in his face, like, well, damn, I need a new ride. Oh, hello there, he says, and notices you, Moira. And also, like, I think this is why when we see it from his perspective, now we see all three of you, right? Like, somewhere in the shot, Moira off to the side at the sidewalk where the tree is, Trespass alighted on top of the van that he's looking back at, and Recon out in the other traffic lane, like, on top of that taxi. And so he's looking back at you, being like, oh, this is a whole gathering, this is a team. Oh, my first team in a while. Hello there, children. Might I say, welcome to the business.
I don't
Who's
think
the old timer, Yun?
he says his name is the Scarlet Songbird.
He looks
Moira
hurt.
makes a face with a, oh my god, that's a tacky name kind of look to her face.
Wait a minute, Moira, you were into superheroes, right? Like superheroics and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess you, like, Trespass would definitely also know. Is there anyone here who would not know, like, really quintessential superheroes or villains?
I think we know for a fact that the Vigil had a lot of information on stuff like that. So I imagine that Recon would know from his time there.
Okay, so in that case, like this strikes you in a moment where you're like, the Scarlet Songbird. Wait a minute, this sounds familiar. The Scarlet Songbird. He is a Gold Generation villain. He's one of Halcyon City's original villains.
How the hell is he still alive?
He's just a spry old fucker. He's like from. He was very young back in his like when he initially started out, but now he is. Now he's getting a bit long in the tooth, but he's still He's still the Scarlet Songbird. He used to be like a master thief, but time has made him kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, clearly.
I think Moira will, scratch her neck and look at him with a cockpit. Shouldn't you be in retirement?
Oh, I was. Thank you for noticing. Yes, I was in retirement. I had this lovely old folks home that I was in. Yes, like I had a roommate. I had yard time. I had 3 square meals a day, but it didn't.
And you were bored.
Well, a man such as myself cannot help but enjoy the limelight. It's good to be out in the open. What might I call you 3? Do you have a name, like a suitable, something with pizzazz?
Well, everyone calls us Misfits.
Misfits?
I think at that point, Yoon, the car obviously having come to a halt, she will flip, do a front flip and land down on the ground so that she's, approaching him with, landing so that, elegantly with her swords out to her side. And then she'll take on a fighting stance and say, looking at him with a wry little smile on her face and say, I do know your name, old man. It will be an honor to defeat you.
Awesome. He is let's just like Christmas lights in his eyes when you're like, one, you know him, and you're like, I would be honored to fight you. And also the little thing, like when you do the flip, he does like a little golf clap. It's like, way, very well, very good, very good. Wonderful. So the Misfits, very good. And I assume you each have a name, a suitable, superheroic moniker of sorts.
Nope, just Moira.
Moira, that won't do. What about Striking Snake or Punk Python?
She just stares at him with a very disinterested look in her face.
I'm sure that even in your time, there were the occasional heroes or villains who went by their own names for whatever reason.
He turns up his. Sorry, go on.
Well, mostly because they don't have to hide themselves behind a weird name.
It didn't much matter in my time. Back in my days, style was everything. Back then, people knew how to put on a show for an audience. Speaking of which, and he strums the guitar, and we get like this, because it's a comic book, we can see like the special effects, and there's like this like wafting, like almost like bendy solar rays thing coming off of it, and suddenly like all the cars parked in like the opposite lane in traffic, like all the doors spring open, and the people climb out of the vehicles, just like semi-mechanically. As he like strums a couple of chords on the guitar, he's like, Misfits, is it? Very, very well, very well. I will also be honored to fight you. It'll be good to stretch my legs again. But I have to warn you, children. I am not going easy on you just because you're young. And he gives a grin. It's like, haha! And like, and hits like a beautiful note. And suddenly like he starts singing. And I can't improv a song, but it's like basically lyrics instructing the people around to fall upon you and like grab you and hold you. Yes. And like someone to like grab the money. And
at this point, Yoon goes, it's the guitar. Looking at her friends going, it's the guitar. And then she will try to attack him.
Moira just comments, well, don't complain when we break your hip. And goes for the man.
Yeah, Recon is just like, oh no, it's Wisecrack all over again.
You have a bad track record with Gold Generation villains.
Yeah. Why do old people just don't stay away?
Because they can't get over the fact they're no longer relevant.
Wait, you fought Wisecrack? When we're done with this, you need to tell me about that.
Yes, I stabbed him even, and he stabbed me. There was a lot of stuff going on.
We will hear of this when we're done, please. And then,
I like the fact that we just wait you fought Wisecrack. And then the man is completely.
Oh yeah, like oh my god.
A
Yeah,
newspaper
he-
salesman and a family of 5 come to like try and wrestle you, Recon.
He's like a Recon just like light bulb like straight into it above his head. He's like, yeah, I thought Wisecrack. He's like, I mean he was at least more relevant than this nobody, you know.
Oh,
burn!
hey! I see you.
Burn!
Provoked the shit out of
Yeah,
that.
that's a provoke.
Yeah, roll to provoke.
Brilliant.
That's a good one.
Nice
Okay.
thinking there.
Take +1 on that.
Uh,
That was really good.
yeah. Sadly, I do have -2 to this, so -2 and
can do
+1.
But you have a +1 on the circumstance.
The sad thing is, I can't actually assist in mocking him because I've just, spoken well of him. Well, you managed.
Well, he manages on his own.
It's a hit.
Okay.
If it'd been a 9, it would help.
Check the roll. It's 6 + 0. It should be +1, so it should be 8, but never mind.
All right.
I was just double checking the math on it.
Cool.
Should be 8. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool.
Okay. Oh yeah. Let me just double check what the provoke even does.
When you roll a 7 to 9, they can choose to stumble, air, or overreact. Let's see. I think this guy stumbles. I think you take +1 forward against him. So he's doing this like whole stick he's got going, right? And we see like this is not like people aren't being zombies about it. They're like running out and like trying to get you. Someone is like, and a lady is coming at you and swinging a bag over her head, like, like
Rascals!
exactly. A group of like maybe like a school outing or something are like throwing ice cream at Moira.
Well, at least it's not Rotten Tomatoes.
I have an idea.
But this happens, and when you say like that, like he's not been relevant for some time, he like stops strumming his guitar or lute or like his guitar. He stops strumming it for a moment, and he looks at you like hurt. He's like, "Why, I've never the nerve! You young man, you need a timeout." And he over focuses for a moment, and Yun, you were trespass. You were coming for him. Though
Yes.
you do need to clear the crowd,
But
so to speak.
that's
to
the
get
thing. You mentioned a woman that was swinging a bag at me.
Yeah, there's like a
Yes.
like
Here's-
imagine like like elderly bend
I-
over woman
I
in a
absolutely-
lavender coat
I
swinging a
can
handbag.
see it precisely, but here's what I want to do. I want to use one of my hook swords
Mhm.
to disarm her from.
Yes.
I want to snatch the bag out of her hand.
Yes.
Then I want to swing around myself to give that thing more velocity, and then I want to launch it right at his face.
Wonderful. Yes. Why don't you roll to do that? I think that's great.
And I imagine that is unleashing my powers.
Yes, it is. I'm trying to overcome an obstacle, momentarily at least.
Full hits.
Boom. so the lady
My
swings her
young man,
bag
you
at
need a timeout! Slam!
she swings her bag at you, and like there's no longer a bag in her hand. Instead, it just like shoots through the air, and he's looking at Recon, being like, "Why, I've never!" And then he just got just clocked in the face by a bag full of like a bunch of old lady stuff. So he like just
And
falls
I just want to
backwards.
point out that there is no limit. Every woman's handbag is de facto a bag of holding. There is no limit to what you can keep in a handbag, up to and including bowling balls.
You're almost correct. An old lady's bag is a bag of holding, but it's not any bag of holding, because a bag of holding
it's true.
makes everything feel weightless.
That's true.
Right, it's just like it's always 5 pounds, which is true for the old lady, but whenever you try and pick up their bag, it weighs a ton.
Yes.
Exactly. For her, it's a bag of holding. For you, it's just a bag of bricks.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is. So you swing
And
this.
you don't dare to put your hand in it because it could be a bag of devouring, as Recon says.
Yes.
Who knows what would eat you in that?
You swing it, and it hits, like, it sails through the air. It hits him square in the noggin, and he, like, falls back and, like, rolls, like, backwards, just like a complete backwards roll off of like the hood of the car onto the roof of the car and back onto like the boot of it. And his guitar like flies up into the air, spins through, drops down, and like we just see his hand come up like from behind the car, like, and catch it perfectly. Like, haha! Ow! But haha.
Well, ooh,
Yeah,
He's
I have a
down for a
great
moment.
idea.
He's down for a moment. Meanwhile,
Sorry.
yeah, sorry, go on.
Oh, no, please continue.
I was curious about what happened in Moira Town, and then I'll have a look at what's going on in Reconville. So Moira, you're currently surrounded by like a group of small children. Some of them holding balloons, all of them like wearing like school backpacks, throwing ice cream cones at you, and like one of them is throwing a canteen of soup.
What?
And there's,
Well,
like,
I'm not
shouting-
gonna question that soup, because that seems weird. I don't want ice cream, I want a can of soup! It seems weird for a kid. Anyway, she is fully aware that she's not human enough to her actual move. So she's gonna use her move, not human enough.
What do you do?
When you directly engage a threat in a terrifying fashion, the man who were previously careening through the air, mark a condition to choose an additional option, even on a miss.
Aha, I see you. However, there is a question. You are not currently in a position to engage him directly, as you are in distance from her, and the space between you is being blocked by a group of hapless, charmed civilians. What do you do about that before you can engage him?
Well, they're kind of all around me.
Yeah, there is like just a group of people coming towards you. Like, the children are throwing stuff, and old ladies swinging bags, and a newspaper boy.
Form your tail into a coil and just boing boing over them or something.
Well, she's still impossibly mobile. She'll get out of them.
That's the question. So, am I hearing that you're trying to like slink through them? What's your approach
Yes.
here?
Quickly slink through them with the speed of a snake.
Yes, that sounds really good. Let's see if you can do it. So we see if you can piece through these like charmed civilians with no problems or threat to them.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to unleash your powers.
Okay, it's just like, yeah, what? What do you want, mister? Say it!
I want you to unleash your powers, and then if you succeed, you're in a position to directly engage him.
Ooh.
Ooh, look at that. So you try to, and you're actually, you dip past the school children, and you like slink forward, like you dip between a couple of people, but the people on the sidewalk seems to have also been charmed, and are like moving into the streets to like block you, and you suddenly find yourself like, oh wait, I can't go that way, so you try and dip another way, and fuck, you can't go that way either, there's someone there, like a guy in a hard hat, shouting at you, and like, it's like, he's holding like a sign where it says like equal pay for equal work or something, and he's like starting like to hit you with it. He was clearly like in some kind of protest or something.
Great. Protesters.
But yeah, so you suddenly find yourself surrounded, and you think, okay, I'll go back. But there's like a school of children, or like a school outing of children behind you, like shouting at you. So you're trapped, like you're surrounded by people, and I think for a moment, like you have like a transformed version of a Vietnam flashback of like people pointing and name calling. These people aren't. They're shouting something like over each other, but this feels very much like being ousted and being pointed at in school, and like having people react to you. This is like your worst nightmare. I think you should take a condition for this. You can take whichever you want.
He's already angry.
Insecure, maybe. I mean, with what the results
Yeah.
of this.
Sure.
All right. So, and you're temporarily trapped here. We'll see how you deal with that. But we know for now, like you're caught in this bad spot, right? We see like there is like an off-color shot of you, and like a bunch of like talking bubbles from off-screen saying stuff about you that these people aren't saying, but that you just think you're hearing. What's going on for you, Recon, while this is happening for Moira?
Well, Rickon is like basically continuing with his tirade. He's like, well, yeah, as I was saying, like, this is like he's actually lining a shot to him, but he's actually speaking through the entire thing. It's like, yeah, as I was saying, like, Wisecrack was badly relevant, but this is just embarrassing right now. I mean. I mean, the guitar, the all thing. Like, who even are you? Like, I barely remembered Wisecrack, and like he was actually a relevant like villain in the old days.
You continue to rudely provoke
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, but while trying to aim a shot at basically at his throat. Like
Cool.
take a blunt arrow to just basically distant punch to the throat.
Right. Okay. Yep.
Oh yeah, that's
roll
not
to-
bad.
Sorry,
That's
what did
good.
you say, Joe?
Oh yes, and like a throat punch to shut him up.
Like firing an arrow with a boxing glove in it.
Dunk.
Yeah, like just a blunt one.
Okay. So yeah, you are in a position to directly engage, even though you're further away than Moira, but your circumstances are different. So roll to directly engage.
So I get +1 for my previous thing. A 0. 2 + 4 - 1. Yeah, that's
All right. So you take a shot, and like you're lining up a shot, and you're lining it up quite well. It's like, yeah, I got this. Someone is like swinging at you, so you take like you leap off of the taxi and like alight on like a pickup truck, to like line up the shot again. And as you do so, you're like, yeah, I got it. You pull it back, and then we see like you just get like whacked on the back of the head by like a barista with like a tray. It's like just slaps you upside the head with like a serving tray. She's walked out of a nearby coffee shop. And your arrow like shoots wild because you got struck on the head by a serving tray, that you didn't see coming.
Might knock down one of the many people in the crowd, but that's not
It
gonna help
definitely
us.
does. It like there's the old lady who's currently like clawing at Yun for like now she doesn't have a bag.
Yeah.
Like the arrow like just like shoots down and like between her like it hits like between her ankles as she's trying to take a step forward, and she just like falls into your lap, so you like just catch her and like place her on the ground. But yeah, so like it's not like nothing happens, but your shot is off and you get like whacked upside the head. Your world is spinning a little bit. You take -1 forward.
Yikes.
Yep.
Well, you have +1 forwards against him, so as long as you're attacking him, it'll
no
even.
forward. +1 forward is just the next one.
Ah, okay.
+1 ongoing or -1 ongoing is like forever until it reasonably stops.
Okay, cool.
And
And
it's just while you clear the cobwebs. What about you, Trespass? You catch an old lady for a second. And
yes,
there's still like a sea of people slowly filling up the street.
yes. What she's going to do here is she still needs to get to him. Obviously, there's no question of that. So she will, with the old woman clawing, and she will use her forward momentum from that to do a roll and then a baseball slide towards him again, bringing up the sword because she's going to try to unstring the guitar.
Interesting. Okay, so let's see if you can like power slide your way through the crowd first, and then we'll
Yeah, of course.
get a look at the direct engage. But I think that's a really good like approach. So unleash your powers for me.
Right, let's see. Oh, whoa.
Nice.
Okay.
Perfect. All right, so you go forward, and with the speed of a Blood Rose ninja, you just fucking rockstar slide through the legs of the crowd, and as you come up on the guy, he's looking at you. He's like picked himself up and is like dusting himself down, and he looks at you as you does the power slide, and even though he's got like a bloody nose and you threw a bag in his face, he looks like a little bit gone when you come out of the slide. He like points at you. He's like, nice. And you can directly engage him.
Yes.
That was a good power slide, he thinks.
I'll try directly engage. What? 2 13s in a row. Holy smokes.
Crunch. Okay, so you're exchanging blows.
Yes.
You can pick 2 from the list.
Yes. I need to. Is that on number 1? It is. Yes.
It's up the topmost basic
Yes.
need in the 3rd column.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to resist his blow,
Okay,
and I'm going to take the strings off his guitar.
awesome. Cool. So, yeah, I mean, it's obvious what that looks like, right? He went like, nice, and you come up, swords out. He like swings it horizontally, and you just dip under it, and the swords come up, and suddenly like the strings are split and like just shoot in all directions.
Twang!
Yeah. He looks at it like this hard, and he's like, "Aw." Good job.
She smiles. It says, "This would be a good time to surrender. We will be nice about it."
Cool. I think it is also assumed that you deliver a blow to him in some way. So maybe it's like followed up by like a swift kick in the groin or something. Like I don't know. But
Well, she's carrying 2 swords. So as she slides past, one of them chops, the strings on the guitar.
Yeah.
And the other one catches on his his costume. She uses that to catch on his costume to pull him off his feet. So basically, he's down on the ground as she gets up with her sword,
Right.
standing there with the sword pointed down towards him, going, "As I said, this would be a good time to surrender. We will be nice about it."
That's awesome. Okay, that's super rad. So you do that, and he grins up at you, and he's like, "You are very talented. I cannot even imagine what you're doing here instead of with the blood rose. I mean, I don't know, but the uniform says it all. So tell me, what does it feel like shifting spotlight?" He's like, maybe he's being malicious about it. You can't tell if he's manipulating you, but he says it in a tone of voice that stings, and it reminds you of a bunch of bad stuff. He's taking influence over you, telling you that, "Oh, you used to be a villain. I wonder what that was about."
Yes. The point is, of course, that she owns that she used to be a villain. She isn't running from it. That's why she hasn't changed the uniform, except she's inverted the colors.
But we shall see if he manages to sting you with it.
Yes, of
would
course.
you like to reject his influence over you?
Well, of course I would, but how do I do that?
You, my good, what's the word? Redeemed.
Yes.
Or, you roll to reject someone's influence, but just rolling 2d6.
Right. Yikes.
Ooh.
Nope.
Okay.
Is that still potential?
Yes, it is. Mark potential.
All right, good.
So,
I think at that point the smile stiffens on her face, and there is a definite. She has when he says that, she stops looking like, okay, this was a fun little fight, and there is a level of maliciousness on her face that is genuinely frightening.
yeah.
One of these where he should worry for a second or two if she's actually going to tear his throat out with those swords. She looks like she could.
I think he does. He has a lot of experience on his side, as do you.
Yes.
And in this case, he made you hesitate for a second. So you should mark a condition based on how you feel right now, because his words hit you, and also harder than you wanted to let them.
Yes.
So in that moment of hesitation, you're on top of him, and you have the sword, like you know that you have it hooked into his clothing,
Yes.
but you're like, damn this guy, and you look down at him and you snarl, and you see him like vanish between your legs as he like just like limbos out of you, incredibly limber, and like regains his footing. His footing behind you. He doesn't knock you over or anything, but he just like this like slippery guy. Like,
well, she's gonna do, obviously, if he does that, she can very nicely do a spinning circle kick if he's standing behind her.
Absolutely.
That said, I am going to take angry because he just stung her with that.
That makes sense.
That seems like the best one.
You
and then, but shouldn't we look at what some of the others might do?
We shall, which is why I was gonna say, like, as you notice him doing that, and you're like, I fuck this guy, and you spin around like trying to kick him, he like dips backward, just barely avoiding it. That would have been like a good hit, but he just like barely like whoa, okay, chill, kiddo, I didn't mean anything by it. And let's see what happens over at Moira in the meantime. Moira, you're surrounded by a gang of people who are all like crowding you and being suffocating and annoying. What do you do?
She was be right back.
Oh damn. Okay, I guess I skipped that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she wrote something earlier about piecing out for a moment. She needed to go do something, I think.
Oh, she's probably dealing with something around the house.
Probably.
Let's return to her. You know what? Actually, we're coming up on an hour. Why don't we take a break here and then we'll see.
Yes, exactly. That sounds like a good idea.
All right, we'll take a break and then we'll be back with even more stuff. We'll see how this shakes out.
Yes.
You're doing good job so far, but yeah.
Yeah, except he's now managed to make Yun angry, which means that she's going to stop holding back.
Ooh, let's see what that looks like.
And I have unlocked my moment of glory. I would like to not use it on someone like this guy, but she does that.
It is. You can do whatever you want as the player.
Yes.
I think it is more tonally appropriate to use for something that is like
I agree.
culminating. Right? So,
I agree. But the text of it is one that made me wonder for a second. But anyway, no worries. But she's not going to hold back anymore. She is going to she's going to pummel this guy into oblivion. Anyway, yeah.
So we shall see what happens when we return from the break.
Yes.
So we'll be right back.